So, in continuation, Florida did break me with the heat and humidity, and I moved back to India. Again, something most people don't do. You're looking for, and I was getting my H-1B, which is the work visa, but didn't matter. Just moved back to India. And that is a different part of the story, is like coming back to India, not knowing what to do. Yes, I had some money, and once I came back to India, the medications that they gave me in the US are not legally prescribed in India for anyone else other than cancer patients. So I had to go through a withdrawal process. I still don't remember much of it, being in a rehab unit, but I remember coming back from it feeling exhausted. There was absolutely no energy and not feeling myself completely there. And again, being what I am, I decided, why not get married? And why not do it through an online search matchmaking? And voila, I met Krishna there. He was a teacher, and we seemed to have similar interests and things like that. And when we met, we decided we'd suit each other. Again, this is not something that is traditional, but we got engaged after meeting online and got married after 6 months. And that's a different journey. But it was interesting, even though I had posted a picture of how I was with my pain and what happens with pain. And he's like, I live with people who have pain, so, it's just something that is there. But there's more to you than that. And that's what drove me into this relationship with not just him, but his parents are like, pain is a part of the process. It's not you, it doesn't define you. And so I got married and moved to Bangalore. And again, chance meeting, leading to working with Malini Srinivasan of the TVS group in her Center for Rural Technology, which is attached to the school which Krishna was working as a history teacher in. And there I met Bindu. Bindu, which means the beginning or the end of anything, was one of these most interesting people. She had a master's in horticulture, was running the horticulture center at the Srinivasan Center. She was meticulous about how she worked with watersheds, helped me understand and get involved with her in the watershed work, where we also worked with marginal farmers in getting produce organically done, and a fork to farm, fork to home. This is what happens, from a farm to fork sort of economy set up from that unit. And since she had already got a Department of Science and Technology a grant for doing these organic vegetables as a part of a social NGO, I decided to work as well and got a DST Women Scientist program for working with organic farmers. And unfortunately, the complex regional syndrome at that time just flared up, and I had to give up my position of working there, and this was in 2008. But Bindu and I stayed on as friends, and her daughter Shambhavi uh, was a bright light, and I've had a lot of fun moments with both, with her family, and when I moved to Uti, they did come and visit. The saddest part in my life is to have to lose Bindu in 2016, and it wasn't something that I can get over, that she dies in an accident. And Shambhavi is just in her 12th grade at that time, and it was a devastating blow on them. It was a devastating blow for me, losing a friend to an accident, and I'm like, I could have gone like that. Why she? Why me? And I don't have answers for that, because I have been asked this question in grief by Mohan. It's like, she could have not passed away and just been in this pain state that I am. Why me, and why not her? I don't have answers for that. All I know is I love Shambhavi, and we have remained in touch. And with Mohan, Bindu was just special. She loved plants. She would talk to them. She had green fingers, and more to anything else, she brought calm to my always hyperactive work or anything that I was doing. It is these kind of people that who enter my life that really, really gave me support, growth, and also a chance to see an India that I wouldn't have seen, working with farmers. Okay, peeing in a sari when there are no toilets around. The ingenuity that Bindu and I would have doing such things. These are part of the things that make me laugh. Biting into fresh capsicum as though it's an apple, and she's like, look what you're doing. And I'm like, don't you feel like doing the same? And she was so much fun. And a big part of my life in between 2006 and 2016, when we lost her. And I really don't know what else to say about her other than Tupperware lady, I was your biggest client. All the Tupperware that I have at home was through Bindu. But yeah, she was instrumental in getting me to know about trees, about plants, and I had an interest in insects, and we would talk about her, a way of using organic and small based composting, and other techniques using biodynamics, and also using organic biosystems like Pseudomonas and other things to make the plants grow, while I was like, insects are dying. And that was something else. And Hosur by itself, 40 kilometers away from Bangalore, interesting cab mates as we would go to work, because Krishna and I initially were taking a cab with two other people who came from Bangalore. And interesting because it was an interesting experience. And uh, I grew so much. I grew so much, all thanks to Malini and Bindu. Bindu just helped me grow. Uh, After that, after I left, I was really sick, and one of the days, Krishna said, "Oh, there's an invitation to go for a book release," and we went to Ashish and I forget his name, Chandolas. The Chandolas had released a book about a wildlife photographer from South India, M. Krishnan, who was a naturalist and one of the best photographers of wildlife. And he used to write too beautifully, and they had curated his photographs and his writing with the help of his longtime companion and photography friend T.N.A. Perumal, whom I met there. And on the back of the invitation, got his address and phone number. And that started my journey on writing the first photographic guide to Indian insects and arachnids, which, again, was a different thing. I am no qualified entomologist. I liked insects. And he had photographs and said, why not? And why not is, I guess, my go-to world view. And so then started the writing of that book, which sold out 4,000 copies in 2 years. That was in 2010.